Hey, have you noticed how passionate people are about their politics? Well, today I want to talk a little bit about why. Why are people so passionate? What is it that's making them so passionate about politics? And not really because I care about politics or because I even want you to be political, but because I want you to understand passion. Because passion is the key to motivation. And if I can help you find your passion or understand where passion comes from and what it's about, I'm going to help you get motivated. So let's look a little bit into why people are passionate about politics. Hi, I'm Brett, licensed psychotherapist and the executive director for The Gathering. The Gathering of Good People is a nonprofit, and we're dedicated to helping you with personal growth and emotional healing. And the way we want to offer that or help you through that is providing growth groups to anyone and to everyone who needs one. All right, as we promised, today we're going to talk about politics because it's such an important topic for our time. And the reason why I want to talk about politics is not because I really care that much about politics, but because I care about people and what makes us passionate. And politics definitely these days is making us passionate. So let's talk a little bit about how our brain works and how and why you are as passionate as you are about whatever it is you're passionate about. Well, the first thing I want you to understand is that our sense of truth doesn't come from the facts. I know right off the bat, people are going to give me some comments on this one. And it's okay. I'm good with comments. Please give me comments. But what I'm going to tell you is the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth about the brain. And if you don't believe me about the brain, look it up. But the truth about the brain is that the brain doesn't understand truth, right? Is that a paradox? It's not that the brain doesn't understand truth, but how the brain feels what is true is not based on what you think it is. We all think that what our brain thinks is true or what we feel is true is based on facts, science, hard data, information. Hopefully we're well-informed people, and that's where our sense of what we feel like is true comes from. Yeah, no. Really, where our sense of truth comes from is it comes from a feeling. We feel strongly about something. And when we feel strongly about something, it feels true to us. And so there are people who feel strongly about science, data, information, facts, the whole scientific process. And because we feel passionate about that, we feel excited about science and how science works. That's what makes us feel and have trust in the data and what we see in science. Because we feel good about science, we feel good about the outcomes. But what if you didn't feel good about science? There are people out there, as that what we're starting to see, who don't have that same feeling about science. They maybe didn't go to college and they didn't get the whole process of how it works and why it works and how you can trust it. And maybe they don't believe it. Maybe they don't think science is really a thing. I laugh because I'm not one of those. But anyway, there are people out there that don't feel, and I hope you're listening to my words, don't feel like they believe science. And because they don't feel like they believe science, they don't believe all the data information. And because of that, they have other beliefs. So, unfortunately, here's the science. Here's the science about science. What you believe doesn't come from your thinking brain. the logical, rational, analytical part of your brain that we think of as the all-empowered knowing of truth, the truth knower, the prefrontal cortex. That is actually not where our truth comes from. Truth is a feeling. Truth is something that you feel strongly about. And it may feel like that truth comes from the science and the data, but it actually comes from a different part of your brain. And I'm going to pull out this little baby. This is your limbic system. This is your emotional mind. And it's this thing that makes you feel like things are true or not true. So let me tell you a little bit about how the brain works and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Truth for any of us it comes down to one simple principle. How many neurons in your brain are firing? That's how true something is going to feel to you. For example, let's use a negative example for fun. If I think to myself, nobody likes me. And because I have anxiety, that thought feels true. The reason why it feels true is because the emotional brain, the limbic system, is firing off tons of electrical signals around that thought. And because it's firing off thousands and thousands of electrical signals, or what we call neurons, there's a big charge around that particular thought. And because that thought has a lot of charge to it, that is why I think it's true. Because it feels true. Now you, I hope, you don't have a lot of electrical charge around that thought. You may have the thought, people don't like me. And maybe there's 2 neurons firing off instead of 10,000 neurons like me. There's 2 neurons that are firing off about that thought. And so it's easy for you to go, that's a dumb thought. That's a lame thought. And brush it off. Push it away. Because it has very little electrical charge for you. So it doesn't feel true for you. Likewise, you may, because it doesn't feel true for you, you may come up to me and go, hey, Brett, of course people like you. You're a likable guy. But because I don't think that way because of anxiety, negative thinking, you can tell me that all day long. But for you, it feels like it's true because you have a large charge to believe good things. I have a large charge in my brain to believe negative things. And because I have that large negative charge, you can tell me all day long that I'm a good person. Or people like me. I forget our example. And I'm just not going to believe you. Because it doesn't feel like that. So that's the basic structure of how your brain discerns truth. Is what kind of electrical charge does it have? And the same idea presented to one person may have really low electrical charges for a lot of different reasons. Maybe their background, maybe their experiences, whatever. It just has low electrical background. So for them, the idea is like, But for somebody else, they may have a ton of charge on that. For example, going back to politics. Politics these days has a lot of fear based in it. The reason why fear-based politics is working is because fear generates a lot of energy. Fear generates a lot of electrical signals in our brain. And so when I say to you, candidate knock, I don't even want to pick sides, but this candidate A, is going to destroy your life, and they're going to kill your children, and then they're going to eat your children. What? They're going to kill my children and then eat them? Oh my gosh, that produces a lot of electrical charge in my brain. And guess what? Because it produces lots of electrical charge in my brain, I'm thinking, Holy Ghost, I don't want that to happen. And it feels true. Where for me, if you told me candidate A is going to kill and eat my children, I'm going to go, no, I don't think so. Not going to happen. And because I don't have a lot of charge on that, I don't have a lot of fear response to that, it doesn't feel true. It doesn't feel true, and I can easily do the dismissing thing and toss that thought away. So it may sound weird to think that, but that's the facts. That's the way the brain is structured, is that the more electrical signals you have on an idea, the more the idea feels true. It doesn't matter the facts. The data, the hard science of it all, is it comes down to brain neurophysiology. And if your brain is producing lots and lots of electrical signals around an idea, it's going to feel strong. It's going to feel strongly about that idea. And that idea is going to feel real to you or true to you. And it doesn't matter what the data shows. So again, because I went to college and because I have gone through the scientific process and have learned about science and how science works, I got an emotional investment in the system. I believe in the system. I've seen the system. I've used the system. It feels true and right for me because I've invested a lot of energy into it. So when somebody shows me the data and the science, it's like super easy for me to go, yeah, of course that's true. But somebody else that maybe doesn't have any energy on science, doesn't have any energy around the scientific method, when you show them the data because they have no connection, no neural pathways are firing off in their brain, they're like, I don't think so. And they can believe something else. They can maybe believe a newscaster or some other news outlet because they have a lot of passion with that news outlet. And because they have a lot of passion and feeling around that news outlet, whatever that news outlet says to them, well, then they have a lot of feeling about that too. And that's what gives them the sense that this is true and that's not true. Now, what do we do with that information? What do we do with that knowledge about what is true to our brain is simply a function of how many neurons are firing in your brain? Well, my suggestion would be use that. Use that science to your advantage. And if someone has a lot of neurons firing around an idea that you don't, you're not sure there is a lot of concern about that particular idea, then what I would suggest you do is maybe help them dissipate some of the energy on that. Because it's the energy on that that's giving them that sense of truth. So if I have a lot of, again, going back to my example, if I have a lot of energy on the idea that nobody likes me, by helping me kind of process through that and let go of some of that energy, well, your dog likes you. Yeah, that's true. My dog does like me. Yeah. Okay, I can feel that. That feels true to me. And it begins to shift the electrical energy in my brain in a new direction. But by shifting the electrical energy in my brain, then I can begin to shift truth. So that's why sometimes helping people talk through things or walk through things or process through things helps them kind of talk it out. And as we talk it out, we can begin to dissipate the energy. And the energy then begins to flow, which again helps us to drain high energy and maybe will help us look at things a little bit differently. Now, I hope that was hopeful. I hope that was helpful for you. Don't deal with politics by arguing with somebody, because what's arguing going to do but increase the amount of energy that everybody has around something. So don't argue. Maybe talk. Maybe do a lot more listening and see if you can help dissipate the energy, drop the drivers, and help people feel a little bit calmer about whatever they're thinking about. Maybe negative thinking, maybe politics, but whatever they're thinking about, by helping them dissipate the energy is going to help them begin to process it maybe in a new way. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was insightful. If you like it, comment below, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Again, I'm Brett, licensed psychotherapist and the executive director of The Gathering of Good People. Come to our website. I'd love to see you there. Take care.